In 1996, McFarlane Toys was on a roll, producing Series 5 and 6 of their popular Spawn toy line. Series 6 introduced the now obligatory new variations of Spawn through the ages, but it also introduced a multiple personality psychotic known as the Freak. And today we'll be taking a look at the Freak, here on KREED'S Collection. Welcome, foolish mortals, to another episode of KREED'S Collection and the return of the 4 weeks of Halloween. Today we're checking out the Freak from the 1996 Spawn toy line by McFarlane Toys. Here on the front of the package you can see the Spawn logo, and down here in the bottom corner you can see Series 6. Of course, in the package you get the Freak himself along with his crazy tools and weapons that he keeps in his nasty bag of tricks. I really love that for some reason. Here on the back of the card you can see the rest of the figures in Series 6, a few other toy lines, and then his file card. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. There's also a square right here that shows how all his weapons and gear go on him. But you know what? We're wasting time, so let's go ahead and slice this Freak open. Squeamish inbox collectors should look away right now because this is the true horror of this episode for many of you. I do always cut the card in a way where I could put the figure back in it to display if I wanted to though. Alright, let's get this guy off the tray, and here we have the Freak. The Freak is a psychotic with multiple personalities who escaped from a mental institution and now wanders the streets of New York. One of the Freak's personalities thinks he's a superhero, but his actions rarely match his thoughts, making him extremely dangerous at times. He's always ready for a fight and carries a bag of weapons wherever he goes, but no one really knows if he's good or bad. You know, since one of the Freak's multiple personalities is a killer and another thinks he's a superhero, it makes me wonder what else is in there. Oh my, what are you supposed to be?
I'm the Freak.
The Freak? So, are you a bad guy?
Well, actually, I'm trying to be a superhero, believe it or not.
Well, the Freak is a terrible superhero name. You should change it. Hi, Bob Chandler here, head of marketing and one of the other personalities of the Freak. I tried to explain to him that that's a terrible name and that branding's very important. Not sure what he was thinking. Oh, I agree, it's not very good. But your handbag is fabulous. Hi, Shania here, one of the Freak's other personalities. Thank you so much. I love this bag. It is really in this season. I know, right? Isn't it great? Hey, do you want to go get a pumpkin spice latte? Girl, you know I do. Oh, yay, Girls' Day. Let's go. Pumpkin spice is life. And now that we know a bit more about the Freak, let's take a closer look. This figure, in my opinion, continues McFarlane Toys' tradition of making incredibly well-sculpted figures. I mean, the face alone is evidence of that, but in general, the sculpt work on the entire figure is really excellent. But here you can see how good his teeth are and his eyes. He's even got the actual hair. His medallion is even an actual medallion. That would be sculpted on for most other companies, but McFarlane always goes the extra mile. He's very gaunt and sinewy in his arms and his ribs and stomach, and it looks really amazing. The Freak's belt has 2 hooks on it, and those are designed to hold his weapons if you want. We'll take a look at that here in a little bit. And both of his hands are also sculpted where they can hold his weapons too. His jeans have a nice denim texture to them, and you can see some barbed wire wrapped around his leg right there. The jeans are really tattered as well, and you can see there's holes in the knees, and it comes down to a pretty cool looking pair of boots. And on the side here you can see what looks kind of like a boot knife, although I'm really not sure. It appears to be taped onto his leg. The other leg has the jeans tucked in with chains wrapped around the boots because McFarlane hates symmetrical feet. There's not a whole lot going on the back of the Freak, but you do get a better look at his actual hair, which in my opinion really elevates the figure. Alright, now we're going to take a look at the Freak's articulation. Here at the hip, he does have a 90-degree bend up, and it will go back a little bit, so you can put him in a run pose like this. Now here at his waist, he has a swivel point, And I'll tell you right now, I love that. That's one of my favorite points of articulation. The shoulder has a joint that can go up and around full 360 if he wants. And here at the wrist, he has a swivel point. And then here on the forearm, he has another swivel point. Finally, his head can turn right, and it can also turn left. And that is it. That covers all 8 points of articulation for the Freak. Now we're going to take a look at his accessories, starting with his skill saw. You can see the guard here on the front, as well as on the back here, the motor and the handle. And if you look here, you can see blood. It's splattered all over the guard. There's more here on this side. The blade also looks great. The paint makes it look metallic, which is a nice touch. But I'm going to assume that this thing is battery powered, because how else would he wield it? Generally, you plug those into the wall. His second accessory is a hacksaw. I'm going to assume that he likes to do home repair in his spare time, having a skill saw and a hacksaw. But this is a great accessory. It looks dead on. I really like the blade, and the handle also looks really nice in my opinion. It is a bit big though, so getting it into his hand was a bit of a trick, but it does fit. The hacksaw can also be hung on his belt hooks, so all you have to do is take it out of his hand and just slip it over the hook. Pretty easy. Getting away from tools and into actual weapons, the Freak has this sword, which looks a lot like a katana, though I'm not sure because the blade's kind of curved. But you can see the blade is all chipped up and it looks like metal. It's really nice. It looks very damaged, and the handle is also excellent. This weapon fits in his hand perfectly, and I think that a profile shot of him holding the sword like that looks awesome. His next accessory is a meat cleaver, and once again the metal looks damaged and old. It's really well done. The handle's nice as well. I just think they did a fantastic job on this, and there is a hole right here, and that's to hang it on the hook of his belt, but it does not work very well, as you can see. I tried it this way, it looks awkward, and then I tried flipping it the other way, and in my opinion it still looks awkward. It just doesn't look good on the belt hooks. But it looks really good in his hand, as you can see. Very menacing.
Yeah!
Hey, you calm down. In addition to his sword and hatchet, he also has this curved blade that's kind of like a scimitar. I don't know where he would even get this, but it is pretty sweet looking, I have to admit. The blade has the same metallic paint, and the finish makes it look old and beat up. The handle is also nicely detailed as well. And when I put it in his hand, I prefer to have him hold it backwards like this. For some reason, it makes it look a little more dangerous. The Freak's last weapon is his scythe, which has an amazingly detailed wooden handle. And again, the blade looks fantastic. This might actually be the best looking blade out of all of them. The bottom of the handle is a bit too thick, but that's okay because you can fit the top part into his hand. That way it still looks like he's holding it in both hands, even though he's technically not holding it in the back one. The scythe is definitely my favorite accessory. Finally, it's time to take a look at his nasty bag of tricks, which has barbed wire wrapped around the top. This bag is designed to hold all of his accessories. It's got a rubber strap on top that I'm a bit worried will break eventually, but I still think this is a nice accessory. The bag is textured to look like fabric, which is excellent, and all of his accessories will fit inside except for the scythe. And here it is, fully loaded with everything. And I still think you could probably take the scythe and shove it in there if you wanted to. It would just most likely fall out. And here's the Freak with his full nasty bag of tricks over his shoulder. Here's a quick look at the Freak's file card, which shows the standard Freak figure, and if you've noticed, I have the gray-skinned variant. The copyright information for the Freak is located on the bottom of his right foot, 1996, McFarlane Toys. And now for our He-Man size comparison. As you can see, He-Man and the Freak are pretty close in size, but the Freak is extremely skinny. And like many faces, he has a problem with multiple personalities. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my toy retrospective for the Freak from the 1996 Spawn toy line by McFarlane Toys. This is actually the second episode of
The Return of the 4 Weeks of Halloween.
The first episode was this past Monday on KREED'S Modern Mondays, where we took a look at the Fortnite Skull Trooper from Jazzwares. There are still 6 more Halloween-themed episodes to go this month, 3 more Modern Mondays, and 3 more KREED'S collections. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a like and a comment. I love reading and responding to them, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it and would help my channel grow. I do a retrospective on a toy for my vintage collection every Wednesday, so hope to see you next week and every week after, here on KREED'S Collection.